In this video, we'll talk about how to solve a system of equations using an inverse matrix. So let's check out an example. We have the following two equations, 2x minus 5y equals 15, and 3x minus 6y equals 36. So we want to figure out for what values of x and y will make both of these equations true. So one way to do that is to use an inverse matrix. So here's how we do it. We first create a matrix that contains only the values of the coefficients on the left-hand side of each equation. So this 2, this negative 5, this 3, and this negative 6. So we'll fill in these values in our first matrix. 2, negative 5, 3, and negative 6. And notice we write them in the same locations where they appear in the original equations. Okay, the next matrix that we can write only contains the variables, so the x and the y. So we'll write x and y. And then what we do is we set this equal to one more matrix that only contains the values on the right-hand side of each equation. So this 15 and this 36. So we'll write 15 and 36. So here's what we can do. If we call this matrix A, this matrix X, and this matrix B, we can figure out what the values are in this matrix X right here by using the following equation. X is equal to the inverse of matrix A times matrix B. So first we need to find what is the inverse of matrix A. Well, for a 2 by 2 matrix, and I'll link to a full video I have on how to find the inverse of a 2 by 2 matrix, but the formula that we use is 1 over A times D minus B times C, where A is this value in the top left corner, B is the value in the top right corner, C is this value in the bottom left corner, and D is this value in the bottom right corner of A. And what we do is we multiply this by D, negative B, negative C, and A. Okay, so if we plug in all of these values, let's see what we get for the inverse of matrix A. So we get 1 over A times D. So A is 2 and D is negative 6. So that's negative 12 minus B times C. So B is negative 5 and C is 3. So that's negative 15. So we have negative 12 minus a negative 15. So that's negative 12 plus 15. Okay, and then we need to fill in the values for the matrix values here. So we have D is negative 6. Negative B, so B originally was negative 5. A negative 5 is a positive 5. Negative C, so C was 3. A negative C would be negative 3. And A, so A is 2. Okay, so over here we get 1 over negative 12 plus 15, that's 3. So we get 1/3 times negative 6, negative 3, 5, and 2. So what we can do is distribute this 1/3 into each value in the matrix here. So multiply each value by 1/3. So we get negative 6 times 1/3, that's negative 2. 5 times 1/3, we'll just leave that as 5/3. Negative 3 times 1/3, that's negative 1. And 1/3 times 2, we'll just leave that as 2/3. So this, right here, this matrix is the inverse of the original matrix A. So remember what we said that we do. To solve for x, which contains our x and y values, we're just going to do the inverse of matrix A times matrix B. So let's write that out. We have negative 2, negative 1, 5/3, and 2/3. Okay, so this is the inverse of matrix A, and we're multiplying it by matrix B, which we said was 15 and 36. So the way that we multiply when we have this 2 by 2 matrix, so the matrix that has 2 rows and 2 columns with a matrix that has 2 rows and 1 column, is we first multiply the values in the first row of A with each value in the first column of B. and then we multiply each of the values and the second row with each of the values in the first row of column B. So let's do that. So we get negative 2 times 15 plus 5/3 times 36. And then we have negative 1 times 15 plus 2/3 times 36. So let's see what we get. Negative 2 times 15, that's negative 30. And then we have plus 5/3 times 36. So if we imagine 5 over 3 times 36 over 1, we can first reduce these fractions by crossing out this 3, so divide by 3, and dividing the 36 by 3 to make that a 12. So now we just have 5 times 12, which is 60. So we have negative 30 plus 60. And then down here we have negative 1 times 15, that's negative 15, plus 2/3 times 36. So if we think about 2/3 times 36 over 1, we can use the same trick where we cross out the 3, make that a 1, and then divide the 36 by 3 as well, so that becomes a 12. 2 times 12 is 24. So our final answer will be negative 30 plus 60, that's positive 30, and negative 15 plus 24, that's 9. So our final answer is x is equal to 30 and y is equal to 9. Now if we want to double check ourselves, we can plug in a value of 30 for x and a value of 9 for y and see if these equations are true. So let's make a little room right here. So we found that x is equal to 30 and y is equal to 9. So let's double check that we got the right answers. So let's plug this value of x and y into the first equation. So we have 2 times 30 minus 5 times 9 is equal to 15. So 2 times 30 is 60. 5 times 9 is 45. It's equal to 15. 60 minus 45, that's 15, is equal to 15. So that checks out. And then we can plug it into our second equation too if we want to. So 3 times x was 30, minus 6 times y is 9, is equal to 36. So 3 times 30 is 90, minus 6 times 9 is 54, is equal to 36. So 90 minus 54, that is 36. And we said that's equal to 36. So that checks out as well. So that's how we can double check that we got the right answers. So again, our final solution is x is equal to 30 and y is equal to 9.